Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17 Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brought it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
Yes, sir.
We got more than we can.
Already was high within saying someone justice emergency, but the age group is getting younger. Children under the age of 18 being murdered in Sandtown has a high peak right now. So our goal is to catch the children. Damn it.
You're going hard, man. You're going hard on that man today.
So what do you think, Mr. Mayor? You got manufacturing right here, helping our young people despite all of the challenges in the city of Baltimore, right here in North Avenue.
Nah, it's really about the growth. Just knowing where, being there when they were down in Fort Covington and seeing how far it's grown, like you said earlier, like getting the sorbet, you know, where we got the sorbet at the beginning, but now being able to, when I'm at Cannon Yards, get it, or anytime I'm down at Harbor Place to get it, and folks to not even know, but they gonna know now that like this is coming from young people in West Baltimore, right there in West Baltimore on North Avenue, where they think nothing great comes from, but they can see it in what the young people do.
Being on the way to Mississippi, the other idea of Frank Board Mathis. A beautiful town, Baltimore. Just leaving Algiers. We're going to give you an update. 10 years since Katrina. All right, y'all, this is what I came to New York for. Besides the Black Wall Street Awards, we're going ahead and get some of this real good jerk chicken. Doni Glover, out.
Well, we need to feed our loved ones. DOTS needs to rescind this package policy program so that our loved ones are able to eat every day in that filthy facility that we
have some stars in the building.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. Last night we had the Black Wall Street down at, what was the name of it, Mark? Black Swan. All right. Deborah Hardnett, you in there? What happened to you? Okay, she disappeared. Frank, Levon, Mark Clark,
Morning.
Mark Clark Media.
What's up? What's going on, fam?
Look at that studio.
Yeah, I like it. I like the logo behind and everything.
What is it? What is going on here? Oh, I had a dip in my studio. Okay.
We understand, Mark Clark. Frank Johnson, Mr. Hip Hop.
What's happening, sir? Good morning.
Doni, I'm going to say Frank is more than Mr. Hip Hop. I'm going to take that away, Doni, because we were in a meeting with Frank the other day, and I just remember, what I learned about Frank, Doni, and we've known him forever, is he's one of those guys that once he hops into something, he hops all the way in. And so we, like you said, Doni, we knew Frank back in the day, street promotion, street team leader. And I told him privately, he knew everything about moving a flyer, but I was in another meeting with him, and now he knows everything about media, technical, digital. And I gave him his props because I was like, that's awesome, Frank, because a lot of times we just stop. And as I try to navigate this world, Doni, and we're also in another meeting, I'm learning too. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years, but doing it and knowing how everything works is a different animal. But anyway.
Well, it's like a campaign, a political campaign. I learned in a political campaign, I don't do everything in a campaign. I do media.
Well,
there's
me, I,
so many
well, me, I,
aspects to the campaign. Salam alaikum, Sister Deborah.
Salam alaikum.
Oh, your mic is off.
My mic is off?
No,
it's
Deborah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Donnie, Mark Clark, to answer your question, I really just learned in business throughout my 35 years as an entertainment executive is that sometimes you just got to know how to get it done. And although you want to prepare to be able to empower people and put things in people's hands, me, I just like to be able to know how to do it in case anything fails. I can pick up a camera and work a camera. I can edit my own show. I can literally put together the set. If I'm asking you to do it, I've already learned how to do it. I'm just giving you an opportunity to grow. But if you don't, just know I know how to do it.
Deborah, how's your mic?
Say it again.
He's still muted.
You said my mic?
Deborah, she's still muted.
So look here, gentlemen. Let me just bring you up to speed, Mark and Frank. Deborah flew in from Atlanta. Lee Vaughn flew in from North Carolina. And then we had a gentleman also come in from Richmond. So we had East Coast representation last night. Lee Vaughn, how was it for you?
I couldn't miss it. Morning, everybody. I couldn't miss it. I've been out of the game now for nearly 2 years since I relocated to Charlotte, and I wanted to show my face since I was up here doing some other stuff. So I also wanted to let Donnie know that I'm too relocating to Atlanta in the next couple of weeks. So it was the perfect timing that everything just worked out the way that it did. Again, being so close, I couldn't miss out on it. But the general feeling from the room, the general feeling from the evening, again, it was a feeling of pride. You see that many people come together for something so positive. You see a whole lot of Black folks making moves in and out, within the community, for the community. And it's truly a beautiful showing of camaraderie. And I had to be there.
Now, what we didn't add in is that while we've done 6 cities, I've done 6 cities, New York, Baltimore, DC, Richmond, Atlanta, New Orleans. Lee Vaughn expanded it to Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, wow, Frank. Las Vegas. I just wondered if he would yarn like that on CNN. Montgomery, Alabama, Tulsa, and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when he was in Vegas, he honored D.L. Hughley with the Black Wall Street Award.
That's dope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, just trying to expand the footprint, and we'll continue to push it even further, especially as I settle myself in Atlanta, with me being that close to Tennessee and Mississippi and other places of the like. So we'll look to push even further and do more of these in other places, because it truly takes a team in order to pull this off. And I'm grateful that Donnie allowed me every now and again to take the microphone and say a word or two, because we all know how he can be. But
yeah,
it's a wonderful thing, and whenever we can do it, we do it. Just to let people know that we truly have skin in the game, and we will meet you wherever you are. So hopefully Dallas will be up on the docket pretty soon as well. So we'll see.
So last night's honorees, Mark, included Andy Pierre, Bernard Wright, that was the AI guru from Prince George's County. Venroy July and Princess, they weren't able to make it. Stephanie Henderson, she's been a mentee for 20 years, going back to my days at the Empowerment Zone. Jeffrey Scruggs, that's the young AI guru. Stephen Campbell, Wendy Dabney, Reginald Mack, Khadijah Muhammad. Reginald, Stephen, and Khadijah all work at the city's minority business office. Katrina Leonard, Danielle Faison, she brought out a mass of people. Tasha Brockington, all the way from City College. Robin Murphy, Paris D. Rose, of course, that's the wife of Frank Johnson.
He married up.
Barrow.
And she brought out a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
At least 10 of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Mark, what did it look like to you to see a room full of entrepreneurs and their supporters?
Well, I
in
just
Baltimore
I love
millionaires.
and millionaires.
I love first of all, wherever Donnie does it, you know, it's kind of like it's a moment in history because Donnie now has, you know, Be More News has been a fixture for, you know, over 2 decades and maybe 3 decades, whatever, how many decades it is. So I love it because we remember when we've been at Black-owned small mom and pop restaurants. You know, when we've been in buildings, you know, where, you know, like that maybe, you know, it's a more corporate environment. We've, you know, like you say, we traveled. But then last night, I think Black Swan definitely has kind of led the way in this resurgence of these upscale Black restaurants in Baltimore. And you know, what's interesting is what's kind of happening, Donnie, is you're kind of highlighting the different spots that a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't know about. I see you have your weapons there. And, you know, you guys have heard me tell that Donnie thing. I say the same thing every time, but when Donnie used to pull out the camera and then start doing the interview and people would almost laugh at that. And now that's what everybody does, including, you know, mainstream television uses iPhones all the time. So I love that, Donnie. So being at Black Swan just added, you know, like you said, it was a combination of things. You got this amazing space that's doing great business. You got this, you know, located in a prime location in Baltimore, filled with Black folks, as it is most nights. And I think it really does pay homage to when we talk about Black Wall Street and all those that came before us and the rich history of Baltimore. Because to be honest, I think Baltimore technically, and Donnie, you probably know this better than I do, when you talk about Black, African-American, Black-owned businesses, I think Baltimore probably always have had more than DC. And now, when you talk about the restaurant game, if you eliminate the Ethiopians and the Africans out of DC, I have no doubt, and Asians, I have no doubt that Baltimore has more Black-owned upscale restaurants than DC and probably most cities except probably Atlanta and maybe Philly. But there's you know, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on. A lot of them aren't from Baltimore either. That's interesting too. And a lot of them people don't know about. I found out about them on Instagram with a brother named Chima Eats that does the restaurant breakdowns. He'll be like, here 5 new upscale Black restaurants in Baltimore. He'd be like, what? Black Swan, you know, Black Swan got you. But the other 4, I'm like, I have no idea, you know, so.
Speaking of Atlanta, Deborah, let's test. Oh.
Okay, Deborah, you're going to have to sign for us then. For our hearing impaired audience.
Why don't you try your cell phone, Deborah? So she's in Atlanta. She flew in. She was at the last Black Wall Street we did in Atlanta down by Morehouse College. But let me tell you something that all 4 of us have in common. We love New York.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was saying while I was in the green room, you need to freaking get a sponsorship with Jacobs because you will tear that daggone jerk chicken up at Jacobs.
So we have some partners, Frank, up on Malcolm X Boulevard, and that would be the Harlem Business Alliance.
Okay.
And they don't charge us. We bring people there. And I tell you, Mark, one of the biggest challenges going to Atlanta is finding a venue that gets it. Because we're bringing 50, 75, 100 people to your restaurant. Don't charge me. There's a famous radio DJ. I won't say his name, but he was very famous at Radio 1. And he opened up a restaurant in Atlanta. So me trying to be the Black Wall Street guy, don't laugh, Levon. I called and said, hey, we'd like to do a Black Wall Street there. They said $1,500. I said, okay, have a great day. I called my boy Robbie Scott. He got us in this spot on Auburn Avenue. No charge, rooftop, great accommodations. It's not like we're making money off of the thing. We're bringing people to you, and not everybody gets it in business, Mark.
Well, that's something that I've learned. So, Donnie, I do have a connect at, you know, the famous soul food restaurant in New York, the family-owned, you know,
Melba's,
Sylvia's, yeah. I have a Sylvia's connection, and then in Atlanta, Ryan Cameron, radio guy and voiceover. He's everything. He just got Ryan's got the radio. He has a couple pizza spots. He's the news voice of Georgia Tech, the voice of the NBA team and the NFL team. I'm like, boy, he's like if Mark Clark had real jobs and got real checks. That's what you know what I mean? But anyway, I know we could do it at his pizza spot in Atlanta, but that's probably not fancy enough. But I work on the other because I do have some connections in Atlanta. My daughter's there, and my childhood friend is there. But yeah, man, New York, Donnie, was funny. When I was working there and you came up there, I was, that whole going back and forth thing. And so I was living in the hood and then coming back home to Bethesda for 3 years. And so everybody was excited about New York, including my kids. But I was kind of like almost too caught up in the busyness of it all to really enjoy it until I finally got back home. I got back home and I said, oh, that was dope. I mean, the station was at Madison Square Garden. So we were on the 17th floor of Madison Square Garden. So it was cool. It was a cool experience, but I think it was riding that damn train and that bus out of Jamaica, Queens at midnight and that had me kind of preoccupied.
What do you mean? You almost got ganked or something?
No. So what happened when I started, I rented a room in Jamaica, Queens, and I got off at midnight in Madison Square Garden. So this was they said, look, even though the train stop from your house in Jamaica, Queens is only like 5 blocks, you cannot walk that 5 blocks. So basically, yes, after 10 o'clock, you can't be walking around. So I caught the train from, Madison Square Garden into Jamaica, Queens, and then I catch a cab every night. So I get home about 1 a.m. in the morning, and you know how it is, Donnie, in the neighborhood at 1 a.m. in the morning. First of all, half the neighborhood's outside on the porch. Yep. And so the feeling is you'd be like, I should be good. It's only like 5 blocks, but they're like, nah. And so sure enough, somebody got hemmed up like the second week I was there. So I was like, okay. Then I moved not far. I moved to Queens. I moved from Jamaica, Queens to Flushing, which is the Indian neighborhood. And so just like how these neighborhoods work, that was a much safer, neighborhood. And it's amazing how the politics. So why in Jamaica, Queens, do you have young white police officers policing Black and brown people who don't understand? But in Flushing, blocks away, guess who's policing the Asian and the Indian neighborhoods? Asian and Indian police, and then some Black. So a more sympathetic, more understanding police force. So it just changes the dynamics 100%.
Deborah, welcome back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, morning.
Great morning. Salam alaikum to everyone.
Great seeing you last night, Deborah.
It was a pleasure.
I didn't realize you came from Atlanta until Donnie said it. I was like, oh, wow.
Yes, I did. And I am so happy that I did. It was a blessing to see everybody. I hadn't been in Baltimore in a long time. I left the DMV almost 10 years ago, and it had been a while, even prior to my leaving, of me having an opportunity to get there. So it was incredible. And just seeing the excellence, I told Doni I was jealous from the Black Wall Street in Atlanta to the one here in Baltimore.
Why is that? What was the difference? What was the difference? Why is that?
Okay.
So the last one we did in Atlanta was just by Morehouse College at the Absalom Jones. What was it? Absalom Jones. It's like a center. Huh?
Yeah, it was like a center. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like a religious center. And it was more of a church-like setting.
Okay.
Where last night, it was much livelier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this was much livelier. This is more swank, more chic. Not taking away from the religious setting, of course, but it was an environment that was more conducive for networking and celebration. But although I will say it was very special because we had some historical legends there that growing up in Atlanta, I had not had a chance to meet personally, and so it was a very special time. But it last night, I was just so happy to see everybody coming together and celebrating one another, and the fact that I met Donnie. I guess maybe Donnie, you probably this is almost maybe going on maybe 17 years ago when I first came to the area here in the DMV, and just to see the growth of what he's been able to do and to follow through with the vision and his consistency. I heard that said last night. It is just so true to be able to see that with substance, right? Like nobody else is doing that. And it's so important to recognize and celebrate people. You have no idea. I mean, what do they say? Grown men die for it, babies cry for it. That little bit of recognition, what that will do for someone, and continue to have them to pursue, because it's all about the examples that we're setting for our children. And let's face it, we know that today um, it's changed. It's changed completely here. Our presence, our importance. There's no need for us, you know. And so now it's really important for us to make sure our children see that there are different examples out there. That's not just one track to so-called quote unquote success.
Let me just share this with you, something I've learned from Frank, that if you, Deborah, and you, Levon, put your phone on horizontal, your image will fill up the screen. That's something I learned from Frank.
Right.
Okay.
Just turn your screen landscape.
Okay, not a problem.
I was going to say that, but while you're doing that, I just wanted to, it's interesting, every time Donnie have me on the show or I look at it on social media, I'm overwhelmed and just learning that, I remember some years ago, Donnie was calling me, asking me, saying I think he was doing the show. He did his show on WPB Networks, which, me and my ex-wife, sweetie, had
Don't do it, Frank.
That's when the fight
we had a TV network, and I remember Donnie coming to me because he, I think, wanted to do something on YouTube or have you. I said, Donnie, you can have your own network and you can do it from home. I said, there are way too many options. I said, you don't need to be on anyone else's network. You're what you have built and designed for all of these years, for decades and decades, is something incredible, and it deserves for you to have your own space, your own place. I said you could have your own shows. You could have shows from anywhere in the world. You don't need a studio. We don't need to build out a studio. We don't need to do it. Technology has become so advanced. And now I look at Donnie. I sit here and look at Donnie, and I just look at his backdrops on his, and he's literally someone who would usually call me to help him figure it out, or call someone to help him figure it out, has literally figured it all out. And look at these amazing people in here. And I mean, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to use StreamYard, and he's mastered it. So I'm gonna in a couple of days I may be calling him to say, hey Donnie, how do you do this? How do you do that? But I'm proud of your growth is my point. And last night,
it's a team.
And last night, Donnie, let me finish. And last night was a testament of just your strength and your power. There was so many amazing people in the room. I mean, I met millionaires last night, and I don't run across millionaires every day. How many of us do? I met a lot of amazing friends. I mean, I presented my wife with an award last night, and I never knew the mayor's office was in there last night. And I mean, when I say the entire mayor's office was in there, it was like, oh my gosh. So, and I mean, nothing I've never seen before, but just to see the power in the room last night, And if if you go to these events and you don't give yourself an opportunity to stick around and network, you're missing it. Because this is the power. This is what we need. We need to be able to bring together powerful minds and powerful people like there was last night to expand our growth. Generally speaking, I met a gentleman Donnie introduced me to last night, that a black man that owns 14,000 square feet of warehouse space in Richmond, Virginia, who drove up here, who's a millionaire, and he was showing me pictures of the studios that he built out, and I was like, oh my gosh. I told him last night, I said, I live to own 20,000 square feet of warehouse space in Baltimore to build out my Tyler Perry mindset of film, because these big companies like Sony Studios and so forth, they come here every day in Baltimore. They are recording movies, Lady in the Lake, The Wire, and all of these major shows. Common here, Ice Cube here, but no one never knows it. And I'm like, so why do they come here and do it? But we don't have that industry in Baltimore, and we have so much creativity. So, again,
we're getting there, Frank.
I know, and what you did last night was I'm
going to say God did it, and I'm going to say God used people like you right here on the screen to make it happen. It's when we went to Brooklyn with Mark Clark, that was a team effort. Odessa was my plug in New York. And then we got over there to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is real insulated. To me, Philadelphia is insulated. You just don't go up in there. You got to know somebody to know somebody. Brooklyn was real, they not letting you in.
That's funny.
I need to say something because I got to leave. I apologize. I got to cut back out. But to build off of what Frank said and the sister said, the opportunity to continue this mission is paramount. And I've been very fortunate, again, to be allowed in to do so, and I will continue to do so. Thank you, Donnie, for trusting me to get you to and from New York. I thank all of you all for your prayers, for driving with Donnie to and from New York, because it is a task. Please understand it is a task. But
anything with Donnie is a task.
All I have in my mind when I pick him up, I'm like, all I gotta do is give him the Starbucks. All I gotta do is give him the Starbucks. After I give him the Starbucks, he calms down and he's good. It's like his bottle. But honestly, the miles that we put in, the in-depth conversations that we've had off camera while we're driving, coming from, very much appreciated, man. This cat got me to meet some of my heroes in DJ Red Alert and MC Shan, because he passed up on doing the 46th anniversary of hip hop. He was like, yeah, you can do it if you want to. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And so, but again, thank you, sir. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody for coming out. I appreciate
I thought you were going to tell them about my favorite part of going to New York.
Going across the G-Dub, I'm over it. I'm over it. Every time he goes across the daggone G-Dub, he's like a 3-year. Oh my God, it's real. Oh, I need the camera. I get some shots. Oh, look at that skyline. Look at that. That's a real city. That's a real city. I'm like, okay, got it. Okay, whatever. Hey, man, thank you all. Peace. Peace to you all. Have a great day.
Have a blessed.
I told Lee last night, it was a funny moment, because if you've worked with Lee, if you work with Donnie, and if you work with Frank, they share some common traits. They can be a little bit intense. And so it was so funny to hear.
Frank.
It was so funny to hear Frank say that about Donnie, whatever you said, Frank. And I thought to myself,
calling the kettle black.
But it's funny because you guys are both, but it's, you know what though? That thing though is as somebody who's been a talent all these years, that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive, you guys, that's what it is. You have to have the drive. Like Frank, here's a snapshot of exactly how things work, how the minds work. Well, Frank's mind. Frank's like, I come in, and obviously there's no sound system. I'm a media guy, I'm a radio guy, I'm a TV guy, whatever, media. So I'm aware that there's no sound system. I see it, and I sit my butt down. So in no microphone. I'm looking at Frank. Frank's looking around.
I grabbed the Mark, I grabbed the general manager last night.
I know. I saw you said. What I'm saying is, Frank, you were intensely looking for the. First of all, before you did that, you actually went and looked for the microphone. Again,
all
something
up in the people's SHI.
Exactly. And so there's a couple dynamics there. So Donnie, y'all know that I was trained the old school way. I don't be touching nobody's nothing. I don't be inquiring. I sit my ass down. I'm not going to at work or whatever. If I don't have permission, I'm not doing it. Frank was like on the DJ booth looking for the microphone. Then he got the general manager. But I was just saying though, but what I realized now that I'm in that entrepreneurial space, but you got to do it. That's what, and that's why people call you guys, whatever, pushy or whatever you want to call it, because you got to get it done. And what I'm realizing is, especially when you're out there killing it and eating it and surviving, you're going to die if you don't wake up every day and say, okay, you said you're going to take care of this yesterday. What happened? Or I got to get this, show starts at 9:00. What's up with the lights? You said you're going to fix me. You can't let it kind of chill. My wife calls me no high highs and no low lows. And so with that attitude, you'll be broke if you don't have a great team around you, right? But so I understand you guys. And I said all that to say, I get it.
And the interesting thing is because I know what Donnie's going through, because we all on this call did events, and these events are special. And I know how much Donnie pour himself into just making sure everyone's comfortable. More importantly, making sure people. I mean, I was on my way, literally getting in the car last night, leaving, and Donnie came out to bring me back in. And was like, "You need to meet this guy. He has 14,000 square feet of space in the film studio in Richmond." And he did that about 3 times with me trying to get out. My wife's starving and wanting food. And I'm like, okay, babe, give me a second. But I know what it is. Like I tell my wife, it's really about network. And those are expansions of what we're trying to do. Those are so it was important for me, and to make sure while Donnie was focused on everything he was focused on, I'm paying attention because I'm a production guy mentally. And I just know what it should be. And although, Donnie voice projects very well and some people voices don't, but I saw a sound system in there and I was like, why don't we have a mic? And so I just, I was just trying to help, it's just what I do. And you're right, Donnie. You're right, Donnie. I need to keep my hands off of other people's things. But when I see, and the funniest thing is after the thing was over, the sound came on. I was like, oh my God.
Let me plug in for Deborah Harden. She helped me produce this 3rd book, Johnapreneur.
Really?
So thank you, Deborah. Jeffrey Scruggs, the AI guru, the youngest cat in the room. What do you think of last night?
Oh, that was great. I made some great connects. You know what they say, your network is your net worth.
Yep.
And as the brother was saying, like, I met some great people. I learned a lot. How to take my business further. Definitely get certified. Get your business certified in Baltimore. There's a lot more opportunities with that. And yeah, I think the big thing is us as a Black community, we have all the necessary components to be extremely great. We just got to get organized, and you got to get people in the same room so that you can make the connection. And I like what you're doing, Donnie. I think you just putting great people in the right room.
It's a we thing, what we are doing.
Yes, what we are doing. Yes,
we understand that.
But you're leading it, Donnie.
Right,
you're leading it. You're leading it.
God's leading it.
And I
yes,
think Donnie,
he is.
I think Donnie, you kind of hit on, I think, a way to get us together. Because I think what I realize is it's almost like religion. Like, like the Million Man March. I know next Wednesday, Earth is having the meeting with the Million Man March conversations and stuff. And what I was thinking about was, it's like when things turn to that, like almost a religious movement or a conversation that kind of has to have us kind of all on the same page, fellowship. I think it fails in our community. We almost run from it. You know what I mean? I think your model, Black Wall Street, and we come, like you said, last night, we all come in and we all have different skill sets and all have different philosophies, but we're under the banner of something that worked for us and moved us forward. but it's kind of, at least it lets you breathe. Because I think that's I'm trying to figure out, why is it so hard? You know, when you start talking about us, unity and us, what's the first thing somebody says? Well, we're not a monolith. You're right. We're not a monolith. But what can we do, though, to move forward, but still not step on, you know? And I think, Donnie, you kind of, the Black Wall Street umbrella, I like it because, like you said last night, it was a whole bunch of different ages, different agencies, different and in different places. Some people have scaled up and done it. Some people are mom and pop. But I think, you know, I think we might have to keep growing it, man, because I think it's enjoyable. It's not a thing where you go and you're like, you know, you got to get prepared.
You're going to sleep on us.
Huh?
You're not going to sleep on us. But I disagree. We are a monolith in the aspect that we have a common enemy.
Yeah, but they did a good job of creating a system that, you know, like, again, something as simple as media.
Yeah.
Donnie, we're talking about it off the air. So when you're on, if you got a job, like I just posted a clip on Instagram. Being from Black radio, I've been the atypical Black man in America, in that I could post all Black stuff on my Instagram and not even think twice about it. I mean, I'm saying Mace and Cam and whatever, or anti-Trump, whatever. I didn't have to think about that for my whole career. But then when I get a job at Fox 45, you know, a post that I wouldn't think twice about, I'm now thinking, maybe I won't post that. Why? Because of what's going, you know, what
kind of might feel.
Yeah. And so most of us, and my wife always teases me, I didn't have to worry about it. I work in Black radio. But most people have to work in a society that you're always kind of on that thing. And I think that's so, you know, that influences a lot of things. Some people, even Black Wall Street, if I work at a conservative company and I got honored at Black Wall Street, somebody could be like, what's Black Wall Street? What does that mean? Is it we're going to raise the Black Panthers? What is it? You know, it's all the stuff that people have to. So all these things that people think about come into play. So then they say, Million Man March meeting. Some people don't go because they don't want the association or they don't have to think about it. Other people don't ever have to think about it. That's why the grassroots thing is funny, because that's a unique world. You know, that's a unique world. When you Black and you Black grassroots, and you're like, yes, brother. It's like, okay, man, I can't do that. But you don't want to say that sometimes. Some people aren't comfortable saying it, so they just don't ever show up. You know,
I gotta step in here, Jeffrey. We understand that you have an AI company managing 3 of your other AI companies. Can you explain that to us?
It's a bit different. It's a bit different. I have AI integrated in a lot of my companies. So,
well, how many companies do you have?
I have two companies, and I have, of course, my main job. But so I have one company, Majestic Light Group, where we do consulting for if you need an app or software or AI integrated into your product or whatever. I consult my talents out. Also have a company called Venture for Them. I'm the chief technology officer for that company. And we have AI integrated. We're building an app right now. And one of the components of the integration of the AI into the app is it's called Venture GPT, where you can ask business questions and entrepreneur questions to this AI. And it's been trained on all the panelists that we've had come to speak. We've had workshops and such like that, and it'll answer your entrepreneurial questions. And that's just one aspect of this app that's coming out later this year. We have a conference that's happening at Howard University Friday, Founders Fest, where we bring all the founders, all the great Black founders in the region to Howard University Friday. So yeah, that's me. You know, kind of tech entrepreneur. I do everything from AI to web apps, mobile apps, everything tech related. That's me.
Now, I found out last night, y'all, that I've worked with his dad before. Tell him who your dad is.
My dad is Jeff Scruggs. He is the CEO and founder of Baltimore County Corvette Club.
And they bring food every year to B. Gaddy's annual Thanksgiving dinner, Mark.
Yeah.
Wow, B. Gaddy. God rest your soul, right?
Yeah. Now let me transition. Deborah, tell them about Wealthy Sisters and how many companies do you have?
2. So we have Wealthy Sisters Media Group. That is our brand development and publishing, which we've had the privilege of supporting Doni on his incredible works of art, definitely. And then we have the Hartford Group, and our focus there are employee benefits. We have an agency with AFLAC that we're educating business owners on how you can actually have benefits for your employees with little to no cost at all, if any, and you decide on that. So I'm excited to share the good news about that, because a lot of our business owners do not know. And when you talk about AFLAC, most people don't know what it is, but they know about the duck. But when I say, if you have great insurance, and you know, because a lot of times people will say, I have good insurance, or I'm good, especially in this area. I got TRICARE, military. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But I say, yes, okay, you have great insurance, and they will take care if you fall, God forbid, slip and fall, break a leg. They will take care of that. They will cover all of that. Great. But will they put cash in your pocket? They're like, what? I said, yeah, that's what AFLAC does. You break something, any type of thing, cancer, any type of critical illness from heart attack, strokes, whatever, life happens, they put cash in your pocket, right? To help you along the way with that. So that's what we're celebrating and sharing the good news about that. And just helping business owners know that you got to have that edge, and we can help you do that by maintaining and attracting quality employees, because people are not just looking for a paycheck, they're looking for benefits, right? You have the same service and you're paying someone more, they will go to the next one because they're offering benefits.
That's why the
Deborah,
government is so popular, because they have great benefits.
Say that again.
That's why the government is so popular, because they have great benefits.
Exactly. Yeah. What were you asking, Brother Doni?
Is it true that the people in Florida are not being taken care of, that there's a big scam? These people whose houses have been blown away, that there are some insurance companies, I've heard no one mention yours, who refuse to pay these people to rebuild their houses. It's a straight stick up.
Man, I know that is the whole stigma that the industry carries. I mean, just to reduce it into a short answer there. I don't know. I'm certain there are reasons for why why companies may not pay claims. You have to understand that the industry is all about mitigating risk. That's what they're agreeing to take on, the risk of our health, the risk of our life. When we talk about life insurance, the risk of our property. You know, in Atlanta, back in the day, your insurance was based on your age. And when you get older, my age, 55, I was looking forward to having lower insurance with great driving record. But it's not like that, because we have more people that are driving, greater accidents. So that makes your property and casualty insurance go up because of that. So there are reasons behind that. It doesn't always look right. You just have to understand how it works. But when it comes to this type of insurance, supplemental, it's a whole different game. They make their money by paying claims. They want to pay claims, right? So that's my whole excitement of being able to educate people, because there is a wall when you say insurance. Oh, okay. People immediately, oh, I'm good, like I said. But if you take the time to see how our counterparts have been leveraging this,
yes.
I mean, what happens when we as entrepreneurs, we're Black people, okay, what happens when we can't work? We just know how to figure stuff out. We make it happen. We struggle. And I'm trying to tell people, you don't have to struggle. You can get short-term disability. They will pay you. right? If and you do whatever you want to with the money. Again, they pay you. They direct deposit it into your account. This is insurance to protect you when life happens. And we
Well, you
know
got
all about that,
to
right?
put your phone number up there. Get yourself some sales.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can reach me at 404. Well, let me give you the other number because it'll be quicker. 800-917-9435. 800-917-9435. Or go to the Hartford Group, HARDFORD group.com.
And is this health insurance, car insurance? What kind of insurance is it?
This is called supplemental insurance. We do provide life insurance to our customers that need it as well. But this portion that we're talking about with the Aflac agency is called supplemental. So we fill in that gap. You know, if you have health insurance, the co-pays, the co-insurances, although that money adds up, the deductibles, this money is there to help you fill in that gap. So it's called supplemental, or you may hear another term, voluntary benefits.
And until you need it, I think the sad part about life, and I think you mentioned being 55, Deborah. I'm 58. I think the sad part about a lot of this is from business to health to insurance. You don't know it until you either go through it or don't have it or need it.
Right.
And so for me, caring for elder people, the reality of the supplemental part was great because so-and-so covers this much, that supplemental took care of that extra part. And then like same thing with insurance. You know, do you read the fine print? You know, with my elder situation, if you think you got insurance when something happens, but well, if you need assistance, we got you if you dying, we got you if you got cancer, but if you can still live alone, you're on your own. So there are all these little things that I think a lot of times we don't really, and I think again as Americans, we don't really ever read the fine print. We don't fully understand stuff. We just kind of do either what everybody else did or what your mama did or what your friends do. But it's almost like you got to get out there and get this information. So again, that's another powerful tool that you do, Donnie, every day is get this information because again, I was a caregiver for 3 older people, and I was like, it made me then get a trust. And also supplemental insurance and whole life insurance. So all these things because I saw it in real time.
Right. And they don't teach us this in school, right?
No.
It's not, we don't, especially when you start talking about life planning. Like the greatest gift you can give your loved one is to provide the cost, the money to take care of your final arrangements, but to also plan those final arrangements. And I don't know, a lot of time my brothers, when we start talking about it, they like, no, I don't want to get that.
And
you gifted me.
And Deborah, what also I realized about us, when you talk about Black folks and this whole burial thing,
you're right.
Jackie Wilson to some famous, whatever, unnamed famous person, and you say, y'all help us raise money so we can bury so-and-so. You know, other people look at us like that's ridiculous, you know. You know that, right? Because it is. a $1 million person or famous people that don't get buried, but we know people in our family same way. Butchie got shot. Can we get a fund?
Right.
We gotta move better now. It's 2024. I mean, come on.
Right.
People living on the moon.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
You're right.
The information is out there too. There's no excuse really.
Right. Yeah, it's just tough conversations.
I just also think because we don't have enough media and information out there or any Black media in our communities, because we obviously know they're not gonna bring us up to grade or date on it. So we need more outlets like this, Donnie, to focus on things like that and to put that information out there. By the way, Donnie, 2 things real quick before we get out of time, because I know we're about to run out of time. After the Black Wall Street event last night, what I realized, and it's the 3rd time I realized this from events at Black Wall Street I've been to. After that event is over, there's a whole nother mindset of networking going on. Because when we get in the room, there's a bunch of people in there that we don't know. So we're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know who they are. But by time's end of that event, you have realized the power in that room. I'm going to take over your after parties. I'm going to take over your after award networking, red carpet parties or something, because
thanks,
there's
Frank.
there's a time when you're talking.
What I do without you.
Donnie, listen, there's a time when you're talking and you're giving out the awards that people are realizing, oh, wow. Oh, she's not just beautiful and oh, wow, he's not just handsome. Oh, wow, they don't just look like a nice group of people sitting over there. They realize the power in that room. And there's an opportunity to let people know that, guys, don't forget, after this is over, we're going to have a 30-minute or an hour networking where we get together and go sit at the bar. But I encourage everybody to meet. I encourage everybody to exchange numbers, because that within itself could be powerful. You bring a lot of powerful people together. That's the first thing. The second thing is we. Okay, Donnie, I know that people tell me every day to stop saying you, it's we. I get that part.
And it's God.
God, absolutely. Hold on, Donnie. Absolutely, unequivocally the truth. No, it's unequivocally the truth that it is God. We know that. All praises due him to Allah. We understand all of that. But my point to you saying this is that if you didn't do this, perhaps it wouldn't be done in this mindset or this tone or this structure. So my point is we should take advantage of that. And I'm basing that off of Mark Clark and the sister on the phone, who just talk about things that we don't know. I didn't really know that about Aflac. I'm like, wow, I need to look into that, because, right now I really need to look into things like that, because it's important, because anything can happen to me. I could lose my job. Something could happen. Just to know that there's an insurance out there that you can, and I've heard of it, sister. I've heard of borrowing against, you can borrow against, or you can get advance money off of your insurance, but I never understood that. And to hear Mark to say, wow, I didn't know that until this happened and that happened. I don't want to be in that position to know that.
Lord, you do not. When they say,
I don't want to be in that position.
When they say it's going to be $4,500 a month for your mother to stay at the facility, you're sitting there like, what?
Right. But to bring that to say that, Donnie, as another part I encourage you to add to the, and you probably haven't, and maybe you haven't seen it, but again, we need to bring more awareness to it. You guys remember the yellow pages, the white pages?
Yeah.
Donnie, we need a Black Wall Street pages on your site so that we can go there and get information and be able to almost a help desk or
I got a partnership for that, Donnie. Actually, that's a great idea, Frank. And
yeah, so, because there's so many people
did that in New York, Mark.
Huh?
You did that in New York.
No, I'm talking on your web. I'm talking on
I got
your
a whole.
platform.
I got a company that I work with that is that. It's a whole, almost like Lou has the little printout with all the businesses. I have this website. Yeah, this website. This brother Frank, he's got the same thing. But that what you said, just click the switch, Frank, because that is true, Donnie. Why not be on news where you can find all the Black businesses?
Right, and I say that because when I left that room last night, there was so many contacts I did not get. There was so many people. Donnie was telling me 2 weeks ago when he sent me to North Avenue to see this Black-owned half a block or block of
citywide youth development, 21.
Oh my God! I went in there and I did not realize there was an entire swap shop, and like they're making clothes, they're designing them, making them, and I'm not talking about me with my heat press here or my Cricut cut right here, printing my
machines.
They have people in there making clothes in West Baltimore in the hood. Designing clothes and printing them. I'm talking about really nice clothing like this. I can't do this with a heat press. I can't stitch this together. I can't stitch this together with my heat press. But my point is I was like, oh, and then this brother, sister, because he was Muslim, and he unselfishly says to me, Frank, you need to, they just poured $28 million into the North Penn North area, and as well as some other areas. He was like, you need to meet this guy. I want to put you. He dials the head or one of the heads, because Donnie soon.
Chad Williams, West North Avenue Development Authority.
Right. He says, I'm going to put you on the phone with him because They need you. They need this visionary Frank Johnson. They got the pencil pushers. They have the admin. They have the they have the resources. They need a visual guy. They need a creative guy. And he unselfishly, literally. And then I was telling Donnie about it after I left, and Donnie says, "Well, Frank, that's nice that you meet him, but you really need to meet the guy at the top." And but it's amazing. It's amazing. My point is, it's just amazing, Mark. And sister, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. So I can't
Deborah. Deborah.
Sister Deborah. It's just amazing when you have opportunities like this with unselfish people to just pour into you like that. So that directory and that after party I'm putting on my checklist.
Frank got me my first national TV interview, Mark. That's why I can't kick him out the club.
Well, you can always kick me out of the club. That's fine.
But you got to let him back in.
I don't know why you want to kick me out of the club, but that's an interesting comment.
Frank has peeped behind the curtain, the power curtain.
Okay, Mark, this is just for you. This is introduce yourself. Mark Clark got the hookup you need. She was an honoree for last night, mentee going back to 2006. Tell them who you are and tell them why you need Mark Clark's voiceover connect.
Good morning.
You have 30 seconds.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Princess Williams Evans. I'm the owner and creator of Voiceover Inspires Entertainment, a company I created in 2021 in efforts to empower other people and voices with hope and inspiration. I have a new business, and the purpose of my business is to provide storytelling to companies in need of a voice for commercial, e-learning, animation, narration, toys, you name it, I got it. And, I use my voice creatively, and I love doing the work that I do. But I have to just say a shout out to Mark Clark, because Mark, I remember when I was a young teenager going way back to Gotcha College days. And, Donnie Glover has been in this business for a long time, and Mark Clark has too been in this business for a long time. So for me, just being on this panel, when I got the link from Donnie, I was like, oh my God, it is such an honor for me to be present with some of the people on this panel today. I really do thank you, because I have to say, Mark Clark, you are a very hard worker. You're always working. And although you may not remember me, I met you many, many, many years ago. And I believe I met you at the time, like you're connected to a lot of different medias, but I just thank you for your hard work and everything that you do. And thank you, Donnie, for inviting me today. I know it's almost 10 o'clock, so I thank you for allowing me to hop on. My son,
I'm not going to rush you. Tell him what you need. He got the voiceover.
What I need, okay, yeah, I tend to be very honest, humble, and very, humble again. But what do I need? I am, looking for people who are in need of a voice. And what I need is for assistance with connecting to producers, corporations, universities who need a voiceover, whether it's at the university level and there are students with disabilities and they have a hard time reading or doing things independently because of a disability. So they absolutely need the audio version of a lesson. I would be that voice to help, record those lessons so that they can learn at the audio level. I am connected to various forms of voiceover, which allows me to work on different levels. But I'm pretty much, trying to make contact with people in the industry in need of a voiceover. So if you know anyone looking for a voiceover, please reach out to Voiceover Inspires Entertainment. That would be Princess We Voiceover, because I am trying to use my voice for good, for purposes of the other thing is for purposes of giving voice to people who look like us. I am a multicultural woman. I happen to be African American and Honduran. So I have Latina roots and I have, Black roots. And so, in terms of culture, they need more of us voices in radio. They need more of us voices on TV. They need more of us voices in narration. And they're looking for us. And so the fact that I have a broadcast quality studio, and know a lot of other people in the industry, I think that's a plus. But at the same time, this world, in terms of starting a business, in terms of being able to succeed, it's all about connecting. It's all about relationships. And it's what I call a people business, people by people. So we buy each other. And again, I thank you for listening to me and allowing me an opportunity to share my business with you.
Go, Princess.
Absolutely.
Is there a website?
Yes, my website is very easy and accessible. It's Princess We Voiceover. That's Princess We Voiceover, all one word. If you want something shorter, it's voinspires.com. It's the acronym of voiceover, voinspires.com or princesswevoiceover.com. It's all one word. And we is W-E. So it's like Princess W-E Voiceover or voinspires.com. So yes. What was your question, Mark?
Oh no, that was it.
That was it? That was it. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
I'll reach out.
Thank you so much. I'll be reaching out too.
Good deal. Well, we've passed the 10 o'clock mark. Any final thoughts?
Just keep doing what you're doing, Donnie. We love you, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
We love you, Donnie.
Deborah,
We love Donnie Glover.
Flying in from Atlanta.
Well, I'm still here, so in the DMV, but just thank you again, Donnie. Congratulations to everyone. Sister, keep soaring,
Thank
and
you.
thanks so much, Mark, for all that you do and the example that you set in the industry.
Great seeing you, Deborah. Oh, I wanted to shout out Donnie. I'm heading down to in DC. NABOB is in town. National Association of Black-Owned Broadcasters in town. Ed Gordon and the Black Radios in town in DC. So I will send love from Be More News and from everybody else.
Well, send me the promo.
Can I go?
Maybe I'll come through and see
Can I be a
Ron
part of this, Mark?
Yeah, well, come on. I'll send you. Donnie, send me. Okay, I'll send Donnie a link, and then Princess, you need to send me your information, and I'll send you a flyer so you can know what's going on. Because I'm gonna go down. I'll just be hanging out, and you know how it works. You hanging out, you never know who you'll meet. Especially you got your own company. There'll be some whales in the room that might be able to fund something. So
yes.
Frank, any final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to give some information to and what's the young lady's name from Princess?
Yes.
While you're in the pursuit of this knowledge and this information, I have to imagine you run across a lot of voices.
Yes.
Start building your own voiceover company as well.
She does.
I have one.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I mean not just for you, but bringing in other talents so you'll have a diverse of
being a boss.
Yeah, so you have other like-minded. Like me, I've always wanted to do voiceovers, but I never started a voiceover company. And you have people like Mark and myself and Donnie. I mean, imagine, when work gets overwhelming for you, when you can call on you have a base under your own network of people that you can say, well, I also have other voices. So where you may run into companies that don't need your voice, they may need Mark's voice or my voice or Donnie's voice. So
yeah, because you ain't got this voice, Princess.
Yeah, start creating your own company.
No, I don't have your voice.
Older, they may need an older men, older.
¿Qué pasa? No lo comprende. What is your problema, señor?
Donnie, no, see? Princess, please. Donnie, don't get us canceled. Oh, I'm sorry, you own the network. Never mind that.
Frank, I think your suggestion is great. And I think that if you're interested in pursuing voiceover personally, I can provide you with resources for how to get started. At the same time, although I'm in a position to potentially hire other voiceover artists, a lot of people in the world of media, they work for themselves.
But a lot of them don't have the information. You're already doing the research.
Stop shamming with the information. Get up.
And I'm not saying giving people information. I'm saying a lot of people don't want to do the work. They just want to be the voice. Whereas though you are the business, you are the mind.
You send them out on gigs. Have a temp agency.
You basically, Princess, you did what especially my generation did not do, and that is create your own business. So talents like myself, I've done voiceovers for commercials for 40 years, but did I refine my voiceover talent? Not really. My friend I work with in St. Louis, Tony Scott, he has. And so Ryan, what's Ryan's name? Yeah, Rick Party. Rick Party's a big voice guy. There's a lot of people who've been in the business, but not really, they didn't open a business like you did. So you actually are a boss already and don't even know it. So when we have our conversation, you'll know it. When we have the conversation, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because again, most people, the talent sometimes doesn't do that step of creating their own way. And so you're actually ahead of the game.
And you have your own company, so I just want to make sure I bring it home. You have your own company. You are doing the research. You are doing the footwork right now. But there's other people out there that have voices that don't want to do that part. They just simply want to be the voices. So why not them come under your umbrella and you hire out to other companies?
It's a great idea, but here's the thing about voiceover that I think is possibly misunderstood.
I don't want to hear any more excuses from you.
Oh, that's not an excuse. Even if I were to hire a voice, I would still require training. Every aspect of voiceover, a lot of people think, not that you didn't think this, Frank, I'm just putting this in the atmosphere. Some people assume that because we all have a voice, that we can use it to work, or that we can use it for profitable reasons. Voiceover, comes with a set of training that requires a great deal of focus and commitment. It's like, for example, I know a lot of people in radio that have a hard time transitioning to commercial voiceover.
Yeah.
And it's because in commercial voiceover, the tonality, the tone, and the need for branding is totally different from what the requirements are in radio. Now, it just so happens for me that I happen to have iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is one of my clients, but I know when I do a job for iHeartRadio, they're getting a professional sound because the people I'm in competition with are people who don't have the same training as I have. So they're, in terms of tone for radio, radio jockeys, when they go into the studio, they have the training for, depending on the type of work they're doing in radio, that particular niche, because even in radio, there are different types of niches in radio. From the people mastering in the back scenes, the radio shows, and some of them do voiceover, but they do it for the radio entity, and so they're oftentimes not compensated at the voiceover level as it pertains to film and what those rates are for global voice acting standards.
I think, Princess, I think what he's saying is you already have a voiceover company. What he's saying is, no, he's not saying you bring people in and train them how to be voiceover actors. He's saying you have a roster. So now when you bid for a contract, it's not just female, Black, Asian voice. It's you have a whole roster of talents they could pick from. So you get the contract and farm it out to the talent. So he's not saying you're bringing somebody in who wants to do voiceover and you got to train them up. No, you hire voiceover artists. You just you're expanding the opportunities to get more contracts. You know what I mean?
Although with figuring it out and knowing that some people don't have the training, that's another way
to pay. They could pay you to train them.
That's another.
I like I totally, Frank, I think your idea is brilliant and I really do like it, which is why connecting with Mark, people like Mark and other people will help me get in touch with those rosters, because there are several companies that offer rosters looking for a talent like mine, looking for a voice like mine. And, when it comes to men in this business, I know some fantastic voiceover men who are just excellent at promos, trailers, and they're really doing a good job and succeeding in this industry.
What they're saying?
So I thank you for your suggestion, and I will absolutely open it up to anyone.
Do you understand what they're saying? That you could be the plug. That's it.
Absolutely.
Not them. You.
Absolutely. I get it.
Okay,
and I'm ready for that job.
We're going to wrap this up.
I'm ready for it. Thank you. It's all about access. You give me the access and I can open up the gateway. Thank you.
Awesome.
But thank you, Doni, for last night is what I wanted to round up. I just had to pour that into this young lady because I just sometimes we have these opportunities into us and we're right.
She reminds me of you.
We're right in the midst of the situation and we do not take advantage of it. I've learned to not only do everything, but know that I have a wealth of people around me that could assist and I could build off of. But Doni, thank you so much for last night. Thank you for allowing my wife this opportunity. She was so overwhelmed last night in getting her award.
And so beautiful, by the way.
Just being highlighted and appreciated. She didn't know the conversations we had prior to the awards, about the hour before the awards that you called me on, and we were guffing and going at it before then.
He loves to. Donnie
Oh my
loves.
God, he loves to rat
Oh
on your
no,
cage.
he was poking and prodding. He was way out of line.
And let me say this real quick because I know you're about to end. Mark, you know me. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way.
Yes. I'm
not going to half-ass. If I'm giving my wife,
you gonna bring a citation, ain't bring one for me.
If my wife's getting an award, everything else I can pour into that. I'm going to pour into that.
Yeah, you better bring.
If I could have had Morgan Band, if I could have had Morgan Band pulling up doing a Paris song, then I would have did a Paris song for my wife. If whatever I can
see, Princess. This is what happens when you put these old guys together. Get ready. This is what happens. You get three old guys with opinions in a room. But again, no, Donnie, it was amazing last night, and thank you for all you're doing. And Princess, thank you for joining. I have 3 daughters, and so when you came in the room, Princess, just the youth and the energy and the excitement was just so.
Young.
I'm excited to help in any way I can, and it's something I'm passionate about. So I'm looking forward to our conversation. So awesome.
Thank you, Mark. Same here. Thank you.
Up today, down tomorrow, do your day, and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning, world.
Too black, too strong.
Ungawa.
Zamunda.
Are we clear?
Right,
no.
Oh.